Well, the interview never happened. And so I think when Birdman came up to the show, he had some issues because one of my co hosts was saying negative things about him. And we actually had a decent relationship before that. I was working with an artist who we wanted to sign. So we had spoken. I hosted, one of his artist mixtapes. And he was at the party when we did the launch party. So I'm not thinking we have an issue.
Tell us about a moment where you wish you would have said something and you didn't. There's nothing better than this. Say what you mean. 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 All right, y'all ready? Yeah. I love it. I'm really excited about doing this here in New York with the New Yorkers because I feel like Say What You Mean is my show, and it's about the things that you wish you would say and that, or would have said and you didn't. And I feel like New Yorkers don't really have that problem. You say it and in public and on time. But I'm just very excited about it, the way it's been received, and we just got a deal for a platform, so we're really excited about it. But I wanted to bring it here. I wanted to bring it here because it's just this is where my heart is. So the first person that I'm going to bring up that's going to do it is this episode is a very good friend of mine. And today when I was doing my reel to promote her, I just was like, I had this overwhelming feeling of gratitude because she has showed up for so many things that I have done, from directing. She came to Puerto Rico when I was doing my special. I sleep in her house. She's just been just the most amazing human being to me, and she's always so nice. So I am so excited to do this with her because I really want to hear something that she wished she would have said and she didn't say. Because she used to be on The Breakfast Club, but now she's on her own show, which she spoke it into existence. Way Up with Yee. Please welcome to the stage my friend Angela Yee. So I'm really excited to do this with you because you're usually on this side of, or you're the one that's asking the questions.
Yes, indeed. I was going to ask you to come up tomorrow to the show, too. But we'll talk about that.
Yes, always, always. I love that show. How important are words to you?
Very important. But I think actions are always more important than words because people say the craziest things. And I feel like, the position that I'm in, sometimes I think dealing with people who maybe have issues with you, they try to say things to knock you off your square. So I'm really good at interpreting like what's behind this. Is this person saying this to me because they want a reaction? And so I always am able to pay attention to why somebody's saying something.
Do words get people in trouble now? They are, people take them out of context. Like I've been present. Have you ever felt like something you said was taken out of context?
I think all the time. And I'm on the radio every day, so there's no way you're not going to mess up. And sometimes you even say the wrong things, report the wrong thing, get the wrong information, ask a question that's offensive to somebody. It's just bound to happen. I mean, I'm literally on air every single day.
So when and I'm gonna bring it up because I thought I was thinking of you only in this moment, and I know that sounds weird, but when Birdman came to the Breakfast Club, and Birdman was like, "Put some respect on my name." Oh, put some respect on my name. You were there, and I noticed that you just stayed quiet.
Well, the interview never happened. And so I think when Birdman came up to the show, he had some issues because one of my co hosts was saying negative things about him. And we actually had a decent relationship before that. I was working with an artist who we wanted to sign. So we had spoken. I hosted, one of his artist mixtapes. And he was at the party when we did the launch party. So I'm not thinking we have an issue. And we didn't have an issue, but it was really with somebody else. And so sometimes there's collateral damage when you're like part of a group. And so you get grouped into something because, you guys are all together. And so it caught me off guard, but I also was just like ready to do an interview. If you
Yeah.
saw that clip ever, and if people who aren't familiar with it, because is it people in here who don't know what that is? Just the Birdman interview? Or everybody knows?
They
Okay.
know.
Just what I mean? Okay. But it was a lot of back and forth, and it was a lot of animosity in the room. And I didn't think anything was gonna go down, but I also was like, damn, I just prepared all these notes. Like, I was ready to do an interview.
Yeah, because you are a professional, and I know you love words. If you go to Angela's house, there are books everywhere. She reads everything. I wanted to ask you, what is the most outlandish thing anyone has said to you in an interview that you heard and you like, this is the top crazy of the crazies?
Ooh, uh, there's so many. I'm trying to think. I mean, probably on my podcast, Lip Service,
Okay.
because it gets really wild on there. But I always kind of more excuse that because that's really the point of it, right? To have a space where people can say whatever it is that they want. So I think sometimes the space matters too. If you're talking on Lip Service versus if you're talking on a morning show, some people can differentiate those two things and some people can't. But yeah, definitely had a guy come up there and say something extremely disrespectful to me. Sex. I can't even remember exactly what it
to
was.
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
to me. And it's interesting because with social media, people really celebrate those moments. Like they think it's really funny. They want to repost it until it happens to them. And so I think it'll be like a lot of people who are woman power, girl power, and they're like, aha, you want to suck a and you're like, damn, I thought, that should be something that you find offensive.
It's I don't know why that made me laugh, but maybe I just got awkward because I'm an awkward girl. I want to know from you, when was a moment where you wish you would have said something and you didn't?
So there was a time when I was a lot younger, and this is why just watching a lot of things transpire right now is interesting to me. But it was like my second job. I was working for D'Angelo for his record label at Virgin Records. It was called Cheap of Sound. And there were two guys that ran this little label, right? And so one of them called me in his office and was like, I'm thinking we're about to have a meeting, so I have like a pen, a pad of paper, because this was before we had Palm Pilots then. It was before other, but anyway, I went in there thinking like, okay, we're about to have a meeting, something's gonna happen. Because during this time, it took forever for D'Angelo to put out an album. So I get in his office and he's like, I think you should sleep with me.
Okay.
And I was like, what? And he was like, just think about it. Like, I'll take you to nice dinners. Nobody has to know about it. It'll be a good time. I'll make sure you're well compensated. And I was so caught off guard because he was, first of all, terrible looking. Because, things like that, if it's like, anyway, but it wasn't going to happen. And so I was just so caught off guard that I was like, no, I wouldn't do that. And I just feel like, damn, that's all you said in that moment. Like, I should have been flipping over the desk and doing whatever. But instead, I was just like, I wouldn't do that. And I walked out of there like, damn, that was crazy. And I didn't even quit on the spot. Like, I called my best friend when I left, because I was only like 23 years old. So I called my best friend when I left. I was like, you would not believe what just happened to me. And even she was like, well, maybe you need to get another job before you just jump, out there, because, you got bills to pay, you got rent, you got student loans. And I was like, damn, maybe I do. Then I got fired the next day.
Do you think you got fired because you said no?
Of course. And not only did I get fired, but it was his partner. He didn't even come in the office. It was his partner that fired me. So it was like this a lot older guy, and he was so disrespectful to me all the time. He would do things like, I would have a meeting and he'd be like, Angela, hurry up, come here. I need you to sharpen my pencil. Literally, like sharpen my pencil. Just always trying to like embarrass me in front of people. So it was a really hostile work environment for me. And so the next day I came in, they fired me, but they did tell me they were gonna give me like 4 weeks severance pay. So I said, all right. I agreed I was like, let me just get my stuff and get out. And then I deleted like all my off the computer. So all my contacts, everything. And Then they got mad about that. So they called me like, what happened to the contacts? Those are our contacts that you deleted. And I was like, no, those were my contacts that I brought over here with me. And then they canceled my check.
So now, what would you have said if you really would have? What would you have said? Say it now.
Whew. I would have been like, you fake Sammy Davis Jr., dry hair, wear the same sweater all the time, look alike. I'd have been like, you, I know you're whack in bed. I know you're sleeping with your assistant. I already know that. And that's not going to happen here because my is way too good and amazing.
Hey! Say what you mean.
And I'm going to get you up when you walk out of here.
Hey!
But I did something good after that. So, this was the time when people used to order car services with vouchers and you would call and be like, oh, this is account number 25. So I used to work for Wu-Tang before that. So I gave that account number to everybody. And they was ordering cars, going to the Poconos. Let me tell you, they was taking cars to the supermarket, like and when they got their bill, they were furious. And so, and I'm gonna tell you what they did that was really dumb. They hired somebody to be their assistant after I left, who I recommended. So she was like, girl, they got me going to the police station, trying to file this police report. And, the police said, no, you got to hire a private investigator, so they can't even do anything. And, they were calling me like, look, you just need to admit this. You're about to get locked up. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And, that was my little get back. And they ended up having to pay it.
That's not. Okay.
Cheers.
You mean fine-ass Method Man was riding around in a car that...
You know what's so funny? Just in all truthfulness, I did have somebody call up and threaten him after that too.
Oh, good.
And you know what he did? He had to hire a security guard to come to work. And the security guard who he hired was a guy who I knew that lived 3 blocks away from me. So he told me, he was like, girl, they hired me to come do security because he's scared to come to the office because somebody called him and threatened him. And I was like, damn.
So you are either the mayor or Satan. Because but let me tell you, she lives in the community and she is of the community. And I always tell people this story because the first time I stayed with her, she was gone to do her show. And I called an Uber to go to the airport. And I was struggling with my luggage. And the garbage men stopped.
Sanitation worker.
The sanitation workers. I'm a work in progress. The sanitation workers stopped what they were doing, cleaned their hands with some hand sanitizer, and helped me with my luggage. And I was like, that's how you belong to that's why she's my people, right? She's not. So I believe that the people in her neighborhood would fight somebody. I ordered something
I separate my recycling. Yeah, I'll be on point, girl. Yeah.
No, I ordered something from Target today. They left it on the doorstep and nobody messed with it. I was like, where they do that at in New York?
No, we're very lucky, honestly. We got cameras too.
Yeah.
I'd be like, who's that on the porch?
I know. That voice. You ever been on somebody's doorstep and you hear them speaking from the beyond? And you're like, I don't even know if I want to come in here. So one of the segments that we do is people send us stories and we share them. And then it's a segment called You Should Have Kept That. And we will share the story. And then you guys tell me if you think the person should have kept it or they should have said it. All right. So she sends this email. She said, I've been dating a guy for the last 6 months. We met on a dating app and it's been the best relationship I've had in a long time. He is someone I can really see myself with for the future. We have a lot of things in common. We feel like we're headed in the same direction. And honestly, when we're together, the whole world disappears. He introduced me to his sister, and we hung out a few times with her, and something has been off. She and I have very different tastes in things, and our views on life are not aligned. Quite honestly, I don't really like her that much. Outside of her, we are a perfect match. But since I told him that I didn't like his sister, he's been very distant. She said, I feel like our relationship is fading. He and I established a radical honesty policy that has been one of the greatest aspects of our relationship. I'm starting to regret telling him how I felt about her, and now I'm wondering if I should have kept that to myself.
Well, if you watch 90 Day Fiance, something very similar.
I've never seen an episode.
I would have probably kept it. That's his sister, his blood. Like, you could maybe say, I feel like your sister's not that fond of me, but I want to work on that. Because it's also a relationship that y'all don't got to be best friends, but you can just be cordial to each other, and you don't have to hang out with her.
But what about the radical honesty rule?
Maybe that's a bad rule. No. But I think it's for things that are relevant. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to always tell like, that's not really relevant. Like, I don't really like your sister. No one is going to take that well. And then
Unless you hate your sister.
yeah, unless you don't like your sister either. And then it's kind of awkward after that. And now it's like, can I be with somebody that doesn't get along with my family? You know? Because if she didn't do anything crazy, then, and it's just like, that's not who I would hang out with, you know, that's a lot to say.
You think the relationship is over?
No, I think if you all have radical honesty, ask him. Like, he should be radically honest. If the problem is that you said that, and then you're like, look, you know what? I was out of order. I shouldn't have said that. I didn't mean, like, whatever it is. But no, I don't think it has to be over. It could be something else, because sometimes things be the last straw, too. It could be that maybe there were other things he didn't like, and then that was just like, you know what? This just confirmed what I was feeling.
All right, so we've been divorced now for 12 years.
Oh. Sorry, Ida.
Nah, it's all good.
Guess it couldn't be salvaged.
So,
You look good, though.
such is life. Thank you.
I don't like her either.
It's hard, you know, especially when you're in relationships with people and their family, when you don't have healthy relationships. And, you know, one thing I learned about boundaries, I didn't learn about boundaries until I got older. I was a savage out in these streets, just ready to unleash my wrath on people. But now that I'm an adult and I've had therapy, like a lot of therapy. I did a trauma therapy program. I've been like all kinds of therapy. And I feel like, you know, I still don't like it.
She ruined your relationship, girl. Her, you know.
It was not going to happen. All right, so now we want to get to know you a little bit better. So I want to ask you 5 questions. And I feel like I can get somewhere with, I know you, but fight or flight, a New York cab driver.
That feels like a fight. Not an Uber, a cab driver, right?
Yeah,
like a
a
yellow
yellow cab
yes,
driver.
that's fight. You should have seen me trying to get here.
Pumpkin or sweet potato pie?
Ooh, sweet potato pie.
Running or swimming?
I don't know how to swim. I'm from New York. I will run. It's over.
How old were you when you first kissed the boy?
I was older. Now, when a boy first kissed me is different than when I first kissed a boy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the first time a boy kissed me, I didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm. Like it was assault.
It was, I didn't know about French kissing.
Uh-huh.
And so he licked my mouth, and I was like, what are you doing? Yeah, I was like, and I was in 5th grade.
Oh.
I was in 5th grade, and we used to like do a little peck kiss because that was my little boyfriend. So it's just like a little peck, and then one day he licked my mouth, and I was like, that's disgusting. And then I told somebody, this boy licked my mouth, and she was like, oh, y'all French kissed. And I was like, wow. But then after that, I will say we had to play this game called 6 Minutes in the Closet. Or maybe it was 7. How many minutes? Oh, 7. Okay. I got the wrong number. 7 minutes. And so I I had to kiss this guy. So we were in the closet for probably like the last 30 seconds is when we finally kissed. And then this part is crazy, but
Oh yeah. How old were you?
I was in, what was I, in like 8th grade?
Oh, I was like, I'm calling
And
my
he
sister.
came out the closet and his whole front of his pants, and he said, and everyone's like, oh, he on himself. And then he said he sat in some glue.
Ah. Why does this feel like an episode of lip service? Like,
He was like, I sat in some glue. And you know what's crazy? People who I went to school with still remember that story. They be like, remember when such and such came out the closet and on himself?
let's look him up. Look up the Rikers Island website. I bet you that weirdo is in jail. If you could say one thing to your favorite teacher, what would it be?
Oh, my favorite teacher? I'm trying to think who is. That would probably be my biology teacher, Miss Swain, when I went to Poly Prep in Brooklyn. Who said Poly? Who went to Poly Prep here? Somebody?
My daughter was a candidate.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, we chose Townsend.
Okay. I'm not gonna go hard for Poly, but she was definitely like somebody that wanted to make sure that I got into college and did well. And I hated biology, but I really liked her. And so when it was time to apply for colleges, I was just like really nervous. And one thing she did, I think she was like on the board, something at Syracuse, but she made sure that I like got in early so I felt comfortable. I didn't end up going there, but she just really was like, let's make sure you're good. Are you applying to colleges? She was the one teacher that was like, let me make sure that, you know, you're doing what you need to do for your future.
So what would you say to her?
Oh, that's right. I would just tell her that I think she's really dope. She's really fly. And she made a big impact on my life, whether or not she ever had any idea, and that I appreciate what she did for me because that's what teachers are supposed to do. And, you know, earlier in life, I wanted to be a teacher. And so she was one of the reasons that I was inspired to want to do that, just because of how she helped me and the impact that she made on my life. That's how teachers are supposed to be.
So if you could say something to the boy who on himself, what would you say? Because he needs a ministry.
I would tell him he should before he goes in the closet. So, what movie was that? There's something about Mary.
Oh, I was gonna. Oh yeah, on the hair. Oh.
You should do that.
You know, it's funny. I don't know how it works, fellas. So I don't want to condemn y'all. You know, prematurely like him.
Speaking of premature.
But I feel like a bad person by saying, because is it something you can't help? Is that how?
I think we were just really young, and it probably was his first time like kissing somebody too.
But the fact that kissing made him.
Maybe the 6.5 minutes of nothing before the anticipation. Maybe the anticipation built up, and then he just like exploded like a dam.
I've never kissed somebody and exploded into orgasm, so I'm just so. I am so fascinated by the story. I mean, I've had some great kisses. Right? I'm Puerto Rican. Puerto Ricans can kiss. I ain't never kissed nobody and been like, damn, goals.
We gotta find him for you.
I know. Not on blind. What's the name of the show?
7 minutes in hell?
No. Oh, that's a new show.
Right.
7 minutes in the closet.
Ooh, that's a good reality show, like a race to the finish.
7 minutes in the closet before Donald Trump sends you to jail. You gotta laugh, folks. Gilead is upon us. Laugh.
There's tequila in that, right?
They want us to cry. No tequila.
Oh, damn.
I want to say thank you for doing my first episode of Say What You Mean in New York. She did a segment on her show.
This is an honor for me to be here, honestly. I'm so happy that you're doing this show. If y'all have been watching the episodes, they are amazing. Even the premise of Say What You Mean. Because there were so many things I could have said, but I don't want to, like, get in trouble. So I'm going to wait till later in life when I can.
Just tell me at the house.
Listen, Ida knows all of my,
I'll
all
never
of it,
tell.
all of it. Okay.
I'll never tell. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I love you, Ida.
I love you back. That story was bananas. I usually do get my own say what you mean at the top of the show, but I've decided to do them at the end of the show, and I just wanted to share my own story. I do them every episode. I was at a restaurant recently, and I ordered some French fries, and the French fries had too much salt on them. So I told the server, cause she take it back. Look, I said server, not waitress. See, I'm learning. I asked the server if she could take the fries back, and she took them back. And when she brought them back, they were still salty. And I didn't say anything. I ate the French fries because I felt like I had already sent them back. And my daughter was like, "That's lame." And I was like, "I wonder how many people have spit in your food because you think you have rights." Like, I just don't like to fuck with the servers like that. Right? Because they not good people. Right? Because if they were good people, they would be okay. Because if somebody said, I would never spit in anybody's food. Right? I just wouldn't. I wouldn't do. There are other ways, but I would never do that. But anyway, I felt like I should have said, "These fries are still too salty. Could you please bring me back some French fries with no salt like I asked for them?" And I just had to get that off my chest. I don't know. It's a simple one. It's basic. I know it wasn't salacious, but it could have been if I would have sent the fries back. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode of Say What You Mean. You can catch this episode. We're recording, so you can watch it on YouTube. You can subscribe and listen to it wherever podcasts are listened to, and share it with your friends. And don't forget to say what you mean. Catch up with us on socials. We are at SWYM Pod on TikTok, Instagram, and X. If you are watching this, click the subscribe button. We want to hear from you in the comments section. Tell us your stories about those moments where you wish you would have said something or you should have kept that. If you are listening, download the episode, become a member, do whatever you need to do, and tell a friend, because we want to continue to grow this village. We are so excited to be a part of yours, and we are excited for you to be a part of ours. My name is Aida Rodriguez. This is Say What You Mean. We are out.